Gentlemen, welcome to the video and welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. Today we're going to be going over my entire hunting kit. Literally everything I carry with me in the core of my hunting kit is going to be showcased in this video for you. I'm a saddle hunter personally. I use the 2-tether climbing method. We're going to talk about that, what bino harness I use, what pack I use, what bow I use. Everything that comes out of the truck and into the woods with me will be gone over in this video. So let's get started. Okay, so when we start talking about gear, it's vital that you bring the stuff with you that is mission critical, things that you cannot do a deer hunt without. Those items are listed on a little card that I made quite a while ago that I just keep laminated in the lid of my pack. What this allows me to do is look at this and just make a mental checklist of whether or not I brought all of these items with me, instead of having to rip my whole pack apart and look for things that I think I might have forgotten. There's nothing worse than hiking 2 hours through the woods in pitch black darkness only to get to your tree and find that you left your release in the truck or at home. Trust me, I know. So this little list helps me out a lot. It keeps me from forgetting things that I would otherwise need and essentially ruining my hunt before it even starts. So the biggest piece of equipment for archery hunting is going to be the bow. You can't do this without a weapon, so we're going to talk a little bit about my bow. Now, I just got finished doing a video talking about my entire bow setup. If you're interested in that video, I'll leave it linked up in the cards. If you're sticking with us on this video, I'll give you a brief synopsis. That is a Torex XT just behind me on the wall, and it is shooting a 550 grain arrow looking at about 16% FOC. So nothing crazy, light enough to still be fast and get to the target quickly, but heavy enough to still almost guarantee me a pass through it pretty much every shot through vitals. And that's kind of what I built those arrows out for, was to be balanced enough to shoot fast out of a standard bow, pulling about 72 pounds, but still perform very, very well on target once they get there. I'm shooting Easton Axis 5mm arrows and a Black Hornet broadhead up front. So I absolutely love that bow, highly recommend it if you're just getting into archery or if you're a more seasoned hunter, to be completely honest with you. So now that we got the bow out of the way, let's move into some equipment. Now again, this is a core kit, things that I need to bring with me, which means that sometimes I won't be going up a tree, sometimes I will be climbing a tree. For the times where I'm going to be hunting from the ground, I essentially only need to bring one other thing other than my bow, and that is a binocular harness. So binocular harness allows me to obviously carry binoculars, but also carry a few other mission critical items that I can't really do this without. So this is an Eberly stock Recon Bino harness in its entirety, and I've modded it out with a few little accessory pouches and stuff to go with it. I've done a full deep dive on everything I carry inside the Recon already. I will leave it linked in the cards as well. I get into more like kind of nitty gritty detail in that video on what I have in here and why. But essentially the Recon, I picked it as my preferred bino harness because it's completely silent and it's very modular. So this is all magnets on the inside that open up the binocular compartment on the front. The binos that I normally keep in here are being used to prop up Mr. Euro mount right back there, but I carry Crossfire 10x50s. And in the front here, I carry smaller items, including, and very, very importantly, my release. My release always rides in the same spot, so I don't have to look around for it. If it's not here, I've lost it, and that's bad, but at least I know that it's not in my bino harness anywhere else. On the side here, I carry my rangefinder, tethered in, obviously, so that if I have to drop it to take a shot, it's not going to fall out of the tree. This is a Vortex 1400 Crossfire rangefinder, and I think that for most of us in the archery world, this is just about everything that we need and nothing we don't. It has angle compensation in the ranging feature, which is extremely important, but comes baseline on most of today's rangefinders, and I love it quite a lot. Little accessory pouch on the side here. I keep headlamps, batteries, face paint, little accessory items in there. Generally a pouch I'm not getting into very often, but I have them if I need it. And then the bottom here, I have a little holster connected to a Eberly stock MOLLE panel on the bottom, which is nice and rigid. I typically always will be concealed carrying in the woods in some capacity, whether it's on the bino harness, inside the waistband, or whatever. I always try to keep a defensive firearm on me. This one is cut for a P365 XL. If it's legal in your state to be archery hunting with a firearm carried under your concealed carry permit, I always recommend it just for personal safety. So that is the bino harness in a nutshell. So this, as some of you might recognize, is an Eberly stock Bandit pack. So I've got this one loaded out pretty heavy. Heavy as in I've added a bunch of stuff to it that makes it a little bit more capable. So we're just going to unpack this together and go piece by piece. Talking about the Bandit as a whole, it's a nice lightweight sort of EDC marketed pack that brings a lot of Eberly stock's best features to an EDC pack, in my opinion. It's got these really beefy pontoons on the back that keep it away from your skin and keep it from sweating too much. And I've gone ahead and added a hip belt on the inside here. This doubles as a knee pad. Once I'm up in the tree with this pack, I will typically clip it to my gear hanger, which we'll get to, and let it hang, and I'll clip it around the tree, and it'll be enough to keep my knees comfortable for pretty much indefinitely. I always have knee pads in my pants. I pretty much always use the Sitka Timberline pants when I'm out hunting, and they have built-in knee pads, so that in conjunction with the waist belt on this pack is very, very comfortable. Alright, so in this pack I carry my saddle. If I'm going on a short hike, say a half mile or less, I'm typically just going to wear my saddle in because it's going to be one less step at the bottom of the tree to unpack the saddle from the pack and then throw it on and do all the dressing and undressing that comes with. But if I'm going more than a half mile and going to be trekking through some rougher country, having a saddle around my hips just isn't the most comfortable or practical thing. It makes you wider, you got more stuff hanging off you. In some cases you have metal on it as well so you can carry your platform, and it just becomes a little bit of a nuisance. So we're going to unpack this as if I was carrying the saddle inside the pack instead of wearing it on my body, but just know sometimes if I'm going short range and I know what tree I'm going to specifically, I will not pack it in this bag. So let's pull out the saddle that I'm using this season. As you can see by the very bright label on the back here, I'm running a tethered saddle, specifically the Menace saddle. I have run different saddles in the past, including their Phantom. This one went on sale at Midway USA for literally $75 not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago, and I went ahead and scooped it. The Tethered Menace was their first intro design, and they changed some stuff with the Phantom that I definitely liked, but I wanted to give the Menace a try as I do not currently own the Phantom anymore. So I have it outfitted with a couple of things, but first let's just talk about the features. It is extremely basic, but one thing that I do love about it is that it utilizes a Cobra buckle for the waist instead of something a little bit less durable and less useful as a saddle hunter. So I love that Cobra buckle. It does not have an adjustable bridge. It is fully set at the length that you see here where you clip into your tether. Not ideal, but you can mod a non-adjustable bridge to become an adjustable bridge with simply a small Prusik tender that you can tighten up and loosen at will. You can also just snip this bridge off and replace it with another company's aftermarket adjustable bridge if you would like to do that. On the back here we have a little 3D printed hook for my platform. This is from Genesis 3D Printing. You'll see his stuff across a lot of the gear that I run. I really like the work he's doing over there. Don't know him, not sponsored, have never spoken to him, just a fan of his products. And it's got two dump pouches mounted on either side. So this year I have taken on a method of climbing called 2TC or two tether climbing. There are pros and cons to this, but the biggest pro is that you don't need to carry anything more than what I'm holding in my hands right here to ascend any straight tree with no splits or large limbs. If you want to go around a split limb, you have to carry a third tether to kind of restart the process of 2TC once you get up there, which is perfectly fine by me. I carry a third tether in the pack that I've already shown you. But you need two tethers. This one is from a company called Zook. You can find their equipment on Amazon. They do not have the track record like somebody like Tethered or Latitude have in their ropes, but I have personally been using it for months now and have had zero downsides as far as I can tell. They're also quite affordable, which I like. I am far from being an authority on this, so obviously climb at your own risks. I'm just telling you how I do it personally. Again, go with companies that have a really good track record that you can have a lot of faith in. My second tether is from XOP. This is their just standard tether that they sell with a lot of their base kits. I have it daisy chained right now just for better storage and being snag free. So for 2TC you need two tethers, and the third piece is a foot stirrup. This foot stirrup is from Custom Gear Modifications. It's a very simple piece of kit, and it is essentially just a foot stirrup that your boot goes into like so, and you can stand in. Cinch that up around the base of your boot and you're ready to start climbing. It's very simple, but the only downside is there is a base level of athleticism and coordination that is called upon in order to do that climbing method. So if your joints aren't necessarily super happy with you, or you just have some reason that you wouldn't be able to climb in that way without being able to stand on a sturdy stick at some point during your climb, there are definite cons to take into account. But this video is not about 2TC method climbing, but I will make one in the future if that's something you guys are interested in. So that's the climbing method out of the way. Let's talk about a little bit more gear that I leave inside the saddle. Now once you get up there, you're obviously going to have gear that you have to hang in the tree with you. I use this Amsteel gear hanger right here. This gear hanger in particular is from a company called Custom Amsteel Gear, very creative name, and just uses this little Night Eyes cinch clip to essentially be able to just clip this into any of the daisy chain loops, clip that in, and then cinch it tight around the tree. And then you have a gear hanger right up at eye level to hang your bow, your pack, whatever gear that you need. So, in conjunction with that, in order to hang my bow and some miscellaneous gear, I have a bow hanger from Genesis 3D Printing, and this is just a standard gear clip. Same design, just a little bit different jaw on it for hanging different stuff. My bow pull-up rope is just a big old mess of paracord from Hawk with one of these larger hooks on the bottom. This hook design allows me to, if I have an accident for whatever reason and drop something out of the tree, I can sort of fish it back up by feeding this down and trying to hook on something and pull my stuff back out. I don't like closed loop carabiners on the bottom because they take away that capability. I really like a rubberized open hook for bringing gear up and down the tree. This is literally just tied into a molly loop on my saddle and then figure-eighted, tied up, and stuffed into one of those dump pouches. Final piece of saddle equipment is going to be my platform. Now this is an Out on a Limb Manufacturing Scout Solo. They also have other Scout models that can be attached to other climbing sticks on the market to allow for a single stick climbing method. I use it as a really fast and light, because this is the lightest metal platform on the market right now. It's a really fast, light alternative to something like the tethered Predator or Predator XL, but it's not quite as comfortable. Essentially, your feet have to sit like so, at sort of this angle for the entire duration of your hunt. You can kind of get up on the flats of your feet or up on your toes here, a little bit closer to the tree, but it's also angled, which is built for more leaning. Now, I can go knees to tree no problem using this thing. I love how lightweight it is. It's so minimal. I could clip it to the back of my saddle and walk to my tree and not even have to carry the pack that it rides on, if I so chose. As far as attaching to the tree, it's extremely sturdy. Uses a nice cam buckle system on the outside there, which I have silenced with some stealth tape. So there's obviously more comfortable options out there. There's not much lighter options out there, which is again what I was really trying to stress with this kit. Light, fast, maneuverable, and mobile. And this guy fits the bill just perfectly for that philosophy. So again, Out on a Limb Scout Solo. Love this platform quite a bit. If you plan on doing all-day sits in a saddle, maybe go with something a little bit bigger. And if you have really large feet, like size 13 plus feet, this might not be ideal for you either. But for me, it works absolutely awesome. Okay, that is the saddle setup right there. Now that I've gone and gutted it and taken everything out of it, which I will have to repack to leave for my hunt in just about 45 minutes. And we're going to move on to some other sustainment gear. Up in this top pouch of the Bandit, we have a little zippered closure here in which I carry like camera equipment stuff. Basically things that a lot of you probably aren't going to have to deal with. So I carry GoPro batteries, big camera batteries, my GoPro itself, and a little game cleaning kit with some rubber gloves and some dude wipes. If you guys think I'm forgetting anything, if there's some crucial piece of equipment that I forgot to put in my kit, or if you carry more of those creature comfort items, or hey, maybe even less creature comfort items than me, please drop tips and links to gear down in the comments section and get a discussion rolling. I'm always interested to hear what you guys are carrying into the woods on your hunts, whether you're hunting from a saddle, a climber, a ladder stand, whatever the case may be. I always want to hear from you guys, and I will be responding to pretty much every relevant comment down below. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to load the truck up and get out in the woods, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.